In this video, I started out with $0 in a truck and spent the last 3 years building the farm to where it is today. So we're back again for season 4 to see if I can expand the farm even more. But there's a twist. I took out a $250,000 loan. Will I go broke and have to sell everything? Or will I make it big? Stay tuned to find out. And if you guys want to see more content like this, be sure to subscribe and drop in a like helps too. Anyway, let's go do some farming. Well, boys, it's another day back out here on the farm. We have just over $40,000 in the bank account, so we're not sitting too bad at the moment, but we need some money and fast. Anyways, the soybean field is finally ready to go, so we're going to get what's left of that harvested after the big storm. It wiped out a solid 75% of the crop. There's not a whole lot left there. We also have all this hay. We got it cut and raked, but it does need to be gone over with the tedder and dried out so we can bale it and then hopefully sell some of that too. There's a couple down trees around here I want to clean up, but we might have to do that after harvest because I want to get this crop in as soon as possible. Prices are decent right now. I would love to keep it on the farm for a little bit longer, just in bins or something, just so we can keep it and sell it at a higher price later, but we don't have the money necessarily to go get bins and deal with all that. So we're just going to get it harvested and get it sold. Also, we have to put down slurry on the fields and get them cultivated. We got to keep the cattle taken care of, which I think we'll do later today. But first things first is getting this bean field harvested, and now that it's ready to go. So we got our new combine here, well, semi-new. New to us at least. We used it for one oats harvest, and that has been about it. So we're ready to get this thing on beans and see what it can do. Now, I'm not even sure how much this field's going to yield with all the loss, but we're going to get our best shot here and see. But it is definitely going to be a busy day. All right, well, we are up and going here. I guess we're going to see just how well this goes. Man, the loss on this field is just ridiculous. You can just see it as we're going through it with the combine. There is so much missing from here. But what is here is yielding decently because we did throw a lot of fertilizer on this, and it's brand new ground, so it's doing pretty good. But as we're going here, still not great. So closer to the tree rows here, the wind did not hit this crop as hard, so we're going to be yielding a lot better. Normally, it's actually the opposite because the trees block the sun and all that, so usually your yields are worse. But in this case scenario, it's actually the opposite, which it's kind of a win-lose situation. If only this stuff would have been ready like a week or two earlier and we could have got it harvested before the storm came through. That sucks big time. Looks like we got a fallen tree here in the field. I'm just going to go around it for now and we'll clean it up later. I'll just try to get as close as I can with it so we can kind of get all the soybeans in there without actually hitting it. There we go. Alrighty, so I have done 2 full headland passes around this field, plus went back and forth here twice. Cleaned up a good chunk of the field, and I'm just now full. That just shows how much yield loss we have. Anyways, I'm going to go grab the grain truck here. We're going to get unloaded and see how much further we can get. But man, this field is not yielding good at all. Although I guess this tank is pretty big, so once it's full, means we got a decent amount of grain here. All right, and the tank is just about empty. Perfect. We'll move this truck over to the edge of the field a little bit more down here. That way we don't have to drive as far to unload next time. That'll work. By the looks of it, we may only get maybe a truck and a half out of this field when it should have been like 4 or 5 trucks. Alrighty, so I've got this side of the field finished up. I still have this side, and I am just now full again. So this is only our second tank off of this field. The yields are so bad. I think we might actually lose money on this field. It's actually bad. Here I thought we'd make a little bit, but I think we might break even, if any, if we're lucky. Between all the diesel, seed, and fertilizer, getting the field ripped up and planted, and then getting it harvested now, it's, yeah, not great. I don't even know if we're going to get a truck full out of this. All right, I'm empty again. I guess we'll go see how much more we can get out of this. Probably not a whole lot. So after finishing up the last of the field, I dumped what was left into the grain truck, tossed the cover on, and headed into town to get it sold. So after all the work and all the headache, we were finally going to see how much money we were going to make. And that exact amount was $38,522. So between seed, fertilizer, and fuel, we ended up with basically no profit. So with that all out of the way, I hopped into the 2950, grabbed the tedder, and got to work to see if we could actually turn this season around a little bit, considering we still had to come up with about $200,000. So after getting the small field finished up, it was off to the big one, which would hopefully be the real moneymaker. Alrighty, so small problem here. I am just about finished all of the hay on this side, and my tedder broke. Yeah, That's great. So I called the guy and asked him how long the part would be. He can get it in tomorrow. We just have to wait till tomorrow now. So yeah, that's great. But we got other stuff to do, so I'm not worried. I just really wanted to get that finished, and it sucks that we were so dang close. Oh well, is what it is. All right, so we're hopping in the dually here. I got to run into town and grab something for the cattle, and then hopefully we can get them fed. Okay, so $1,000 later, and I got what we need here. So this is basically supplement for the cattle. It's so we can make total mixed ration, and it'll help the cattle out, make them produce a little more milk, and keep them a little healthier. So it's expensive, but it should be worth it. So I already have this feed wagon full of feed from a little while ago, and we're just going to grab a little bit out of this pallet here. There we go. Should have enough in this now. Just fill these guys up here. Perfect. Now they should have lots and lots of food here. All right, so it looks like the cattle are good on everything else here. There's one silage bale I'm gonna have to take out of that feeder because they're not really liking to eat it. They just eat what's in their trough. So looks like I got some of this on the ground, so I'm gonna have to grab that, and then I think we're gonna get into the silage piles here. They're ready to go, and we literally just gotta open them up, and we have as much silage as we're gonna need for a little while. Okay, so a little while ago I said I was selling these two pieces of equipment here, this Case75C and this John Deere Swather. Now I have them both sold now for $45,000 together. I got a guy that wanted both, so I gave him a little bit of a deal. Now that does seem low and high price all kind of at the same time there, but you know what? I think we're still even making money, and this cat has a lot of hours, so I'm okay with that. But it should bring us out of the hole just a little bit with our money situation, but we're still gonna need to make a lot more if we want to get this debt paid. Anyways, since I've got most of the hay raked up here and ran a tedder over it, I'm actually gonna grab my small square baler, and we're gonna do what we need to do with this, and then I think I might sell it. I have a guy that's interested in it for $7,500, but I don't know quite yet if we're gonna take that. So this is the stuff we're gonna be baling up here just out front of the barn. That's about it, just so we have a couple extra little small squares to put up in the loft. That's why I bought that square bale conveyor belt there. That should help with that. Anyways, that equipment should be getting picked up here in a little bit. I hate to sell it, but we need the money so badly right now. We got to do what we got to do. We got to sell equipment just so I don't go broke here on the farm. It may seem like we have a lot of money right now, but with $250,000 out of the bank, that's not a lot in the grand scheme of things. So we got to do what we got to do to get by. All right, and that is about the last of it. Unload those last two there. Grab this one out of the back. There we go. Okay, baling's finished. That actually gave us a decent amount of little square bales here. Should have more than enough to put up in the loft. Dang, I was so close to getting this field finished. Oh well, guess I'll have to get it done another day. Gotta wait for that part to come in. But this field over here to the left of us is just an absolute mess. It's bad. Well, the equipment's gone and the check is cleared for $45,000, so that brings us up to $122,000, which is over halfway to what we need. Plus, with more cattle this year, it's gonna cost me a lot more to keep them over the winter. Even though we have all the feed and stuff, there's still maintenance and upkeep to things, so we're gonna need a decent amount of money for the end of the year. And I've actually been looking at other places to buy here. My neighbor with a big farm not too far away from here who helped me actually get started out here, he has actually showed an interest in buying this entire place and most, if not all, of the equipment off of me for a very, very good price. And if I can't pay back this loan, that might have to be an option. I think I might be able to get this loan paid, but unfortunately out here, unless you have a really big operation, it is very tough to make really good money. So I don't know, that might have to be an option. I'm not too sure, but let me know what you guys think of that in the comments. So I've got the Versatile all hooked up and ready to go here on the disc. I think we're going to try get a little bit of tillage done here if we can. I'd like to get ahead of the game here since we're going to have to spread slurry here very, very soon, actually. Now, unfortunately, the used equipment store has quit renting a slurry spreader, which really, really sucks. And buying one at the moment, I don't know if it's in the question, because if I want to go buy one, even an older one, something that I could decently use and cover enough ground with here, is going to cost me in the neighborhood of like $10,000 to $15,000. So I don't know if I'm going to have to find something else to rent or figure it out here, but I'm going to have to do something. At any rate, tillage still needs to be done. There we go. I finally get to get these stupid corn stalks that have been bothering me for like 2 weeks now. It's been ridiculous. All right, so I made some progress here. I'm just grabbing the last pass here of this field, but look at the amount of rocks out here. Like, holy smokes, I gotta figure something out here if I want to keep farming this field. I think I might go and get like a rock bucket or something for the skid steer, because a rock picker is like really expensive right now. So I think a rock bucket for the skid steer. It's going to take a lot longer, but it should work perfectly fine, I think. That would be the hope anyway. All right, that's probably enough tillage for today. We still got the big field and a tiny field right over there, but I think we'll be good for now. Anyways, hope y'all enjoyed. Subscribe, and goodbye.